Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Republic. And it's the only tier 8 battleship that I even want to play. I'll be real honest. There's not a single tier 8 battleship that I would rather play than Repub. This thing is so good and it gets underestimated so often. And I just happened to accidentally forget that we did the Battleship Brawls the other day, and one of the things that I did was jump in the Alsace, or no, what is the Tier 6? What is the, God darn it, I can't think of it. It's the Tier 6 Dunkirk, I can't think of the name of it. Y'all can let me know down in the comments. Anyway, we ran that with a reload build for the memes, and we put on Megalomania, which, if you guys don't know, ends up making you a little bit less accurate, I believe, and it reduces your reload by quite a bit. So in this match, we're not going to be as accurate, but you'll see that it won't matter because we're going to be up close and personal for the majority of this match. And we're going to have ourselves the second best game in this ship that I've ever had in my life. So you've got that to look forward. We've had some great games in this ship, but this one is up there. Had this, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Very, very close to breaking my personal record in this one. So, just to put it into perspective, within 2,000 damage of breaking my personal record in the ship. But, I digress. You'll notice that right off the bat, we are bottom tier, as you generally are in tier 8s. Tier 8 is the most redundant bullcrap tier in the game. Like, I honestly wish that most of the ships that they put at tier 8, they would have just made it into a legendary tier and just stop playing around with the way the tech trees are right now. Like, the tech tree and adding tier 8s just made everything so stupid. I think most of us will agree. Like, I understand from a game developer standpoint why they put the tier 8s in. It's for the free-to-play players so that they can potentially get up to a higher tier than tier 7 and play against legendary tier ships. But they're so freaking expensive, and you don't get that much of a boost between tier 7 and tier 8. Like, most of the tier 7 or tier 8 ships are not better than the tier 7s. Like, most of them are, meh at best. Now, here we have a Mino who is just absolutely begging for it. I can only assume that this is a, oh my god, look at that shell grouping! Look at it! Had I aimed properly, that guy'd be dead right now. But I didn't. He turned in towards us, so we ended up overshooting a little bit, landing high and overpinning. But it doesn't matter because he's not long for this world anyway, because it's a Mino, and it seems to be a radar Mino, because he ain't going dark anytime soon. I understand why people play radar Mino, but you really have to play radar Mino perfectly, or you will just be yeeted. Now here you can see I try to sneak a shot over the island on the Yama, but unfortunately it's front guns, and we can't sneak it through. So, is what it is. Not much we can do about that. And then, the crazy guy here, I thought we were going to get a shot at the Worcester, but the Mino is just like, yeah, I'm just going to pull right back out and stop broadside in front of everybody. What could go wrong? I don't know. This? Bonk. Obviously, he didn't have any health left, but doesn't matter. Here, we don't need to aim right at the waterline here, so we aim a little bit above the waterline, and we're going to punch him right in the mouth. 3 full penetrations there on the Yama. And as we close in, you can tell that we're not afraid of the Yama. Why? Because he's just sailing broadside. I am never afraid of a broadside Yama. I don't care what ship I'm in. If you're broadside, I'm going to tear you apart. And here you're going to see why. Bonk. 2 more Citadels right there. He's lucky that we only got 2 hits. They were both Citadels, but he only got 2 hits. But because we have that fast reload, we are going to turn out. Now, I underestimated his reload here, and he's going to chunk me pretty good. And that could come back and bite me later on, but at this point, you're done. You're done. I get both guns on target. You're never going to survive that in any Yama or Musashi. So again, never afraid of a Yama in those situations. If you're going to sit broadside in a Yama, you deserve everything that's coming to you. Now here, Worcester is trying to run away. He's looking like he's about to beach, so we're going to aim a little bit high here. Again, expecting him to turn away from the island. He never does. He just runs straight into the island, which is probably in his best interest, but we still hit him for like 13k. He gets a perma-fire on us, and we're expecting a potential double fire here. Here, I kind of crash into a teammate. Didn't expect that. Believe it or not, when I'm in a battleship, I'm not always looking around to who's near me, okay? I'm trying to maneuver my ship and avoid as much hits as possible. We're currently being focused by a Des Moines and a Worcester. That's a lot of DPM against us. So we're trying to get some distance from us in the Des Moines, and we're trying to get rid of this freaking Worcester. Now, we've already got 2 kills, and if we can manage to finish off this Worcester here, which looks pretty good, we're going to get our 3rd kill of the game. And we're already up to 115,000 damage. This is what I'm talking about when I say people underestimate the Repub. The Repub is so freaking good. And the sad part is the Repub was a campaign ship, so you can't really get it. So those of us who got it from the campaign, we are the happiest people on the planet. Those of you who missed out, sorry to tell you, but I did tell you. I told everybody when this ship came out how good it was, and everybody was just like, you know, it's okay, or they didn't get it, and now they're missing out on it, because this thing is so good, man. These guns are so punchy. I think that's the part that a lot of people miss out on. Yes, you only have 2 turrets, but I'm telling you, this ship has enough armor to be pretty nasty, and the broadside potential with these 2 guns, those 17-inch high-velocity guns, are just so good. Now here you see we have the Des Moines, and we're gonna wait. We don't want to pull the trigger too early here. We want him to open up a little bit further. You can see he is slowing down. We're not the only one unleashing on him. He's already been touched, but look at that grouping, man. All of those shells on target. And this is with a Megalomania build. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a DPM build on the Repub. This isn't full accuracy. But here you can see we do have another Repub over across the way. We've got another look at this Des Moines. We're going to go ahead and punch him. You can see Aegir just absolutely tore him apart. Again, you go broadside, you get what you get. The Aegir can't take hits nearly as well. You could see that the Des Moines was actually shooting AG at him, which, I mean, if the Des Moines had loaded AP, that Aegir would be dead right now. But Des Moines was shooting AG. Aegir gets to live. We're going to try to stay angled. We know that they have the Repub down there. We know that they have a Schlieffen left. And then they have a couple of cruisers. And their cruisers are both Aegirs, which means they have very punchy guns. This Aegir, however, has made mistakes with his life. And we're going to make sure that he does not get to continue doing that for very much longer. You play around, you're going to get touched. And as you can see, once again, half our shells land. You only get 4 guns over the bow, right? So when you're landing 2 shells per salvo over the bow of the ship, you're doing pretty good. We managed to turn away, avoid the majority of the damage. We knew it was coming. When we get spotted, this is where paying attention to where people are on the minimap comes in handy, folks. Start using the minimap, all right? Pay attention to where people are located so you know who's got your sides. Now, this Aegir needs to learn to use AP. He really does. If he loads AP here, I turn in expecting AP, and he's actually shooting HE at us. And we Citadel him. Now, he just keeps coming forward and reversing and coming, so we know what he's doing. It's not rocket science, right? We know exactly what he's doing. Now, unfortunately, the island is going to keep us from aiming where I want to, but it shouldn't matter. We should still be able to absolutely chunk this man. And, of course, in true Spartan fashion, we leave him with just enough to get away. Now, fortunately for us, the Aegir, despite having really good guns, the HE's not the greatest, and he's not setting that many fires on us. So we get pretty fortunate there. We do turn away here. The other Aegir behind us is actually spotting us. Our Aegir goes down to Kaba torpedoes, which is just embarrassing. Not that you take torpedoes, like the Kaba torpedoes are very sneaky, but I mean, they're very short range, and you have extended sonar in an Aegir. So, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Now here you can see, just as we get ready to shoot at the enemy Repub, he goes dark. We end up shooting a little too high, I think. The Schlieffen, however, his secondaries are going to be all over us as we try to get behind this island. And I'm not going to lie, it's going to be a little annoying because he's going to hit one goddamn shell and get a fire. Go figure. Now here, we don't have the best look at the Aegir, so we're going to just take an auto-aim shot over the top of the mountain and hope for the best. Any shells that land on that ship should pretty much kill it. Or not kill it, but do damage, because it doesn't have the best armor in the world. And there you can see, perfect example. Do over 10,000 damage to him, and right now we're over 200,000 damage done with 3 kills. And a very, very healthy enemy team left. So you can see where this game is going. Like, we're going to have to carry our backside off. Aegir comes out, he's looking the wrong direction, not paying attention to the fact that I was flanking him. We get an easy kill. No problem whatsoever. And look at the Schlieffen secondaries lobbing Mount Everest to come over here. If that would have got a fire, like if any of those shells had hit and gotten a fire, I would have been so salty right here. Not gonna lie. That would have been so annoying. But doesn't matter. The enemy has the caps, right? And this is the problem. This is the part where my team needs to start paying attention and actually working to position themselves to winning the match. Now, we're running out of time. Now here, Kaba gets spotted, but I can't really do anything about it. He's behind the island, can't really shoot him. Repub's behind the island. I know that the enemy Schlieffen is nearby, so I know I have to get ready for that fight, and I know that he's going to get spotted anytime. And as soon as we get spotted, we know he's spotted. We're going to aim high here. He is angled. We want to avoid hitting the belt armor. We do know that he has decent belt armor, so we aim high, trying to get as many pins as possible. We get 4 pins, once again, hitting half of the shells that we send down range. His secondaries are just god tier. He's got a freaking Kaba there as well, trying to do damage. He gets his guns off one more time. He's firing HE at us, which is really unfortunate, but his secondaries are actually what finishes off. But in our dying breath, we aimed high once again, hitting the upper side plating, managing to hit over 50% of our shells and picking up the Quacken and the flesh wound. And giving our team a chance. It's a slim chance, but it's a chance. And this Conqueror is just, really? Do we need to say it? Now, I don't know what's been going on out here. You never know. Like, things could go horribly wrong. But he just lost over 2/3 of his hit points to a cruiser because he's beached on the border. You gotta try to give yourself room to maneuver your ship. If you're sitting here on the border like this, you're just not going to survive very long. Now, fortunately for this Conqueror, the enemy Repub is not the brightest in the world. I'm just throwing that one out there. This guy has no idea how to shoot the Conqueror. It's not like the Conqueror is moving. He's got no engines. He's just sitting here. And this guy is just either going to get the worst RNG on the planet out of his Repub, or he's just the worst shot in the world and doesn't understand where he needs to hit this guy. But Conquerors do what Conquerors do. He's very low health. All he has to do is hopefully get a heal off. And we've all been there. We've all been very low health in a Conqueror, only to hit the print the new ship button. And I'll be honest, this Conqueror, if he kept HE loaded, like the guy damage conned the first shot. He damage conned a single fire right off the bat. And then our Conqueror just went to shooting AP the entire rest of this game at this guy. If he loaded HE, I guarantee he kills this guy. But he's down to less than 4,000 hit points, and that's about to get worse as a couple of shells are going to pin his superstructure, leaving him with 2,500 hit points. And Repub is charging, and again, he fires. He's going for the bow side plating, but the guy's angled relatively well. And again, if he's loaded HE here, he's hitting that guy for 12 to 15,000 and setting fires, even if the guy goes bow in. Which is why in the Conqueror, 90% of the time, I'm shooting HE. Because you do so much damage with your HE, plus you get the damage over time. But as you can see, the hit points just come stacking up as our Conqueror manages to get the heal off. Now, he goes for superstructure here. He gets a good chunk on the guy, and that's when the enemy Kaba starts shooting at him. Now, look at the position of our Rune. Our Rune has played an okay game up to this point, but he plays the backside of this game so badly. You've got to recognize there's only 2 minutes left. You have to put yourself in a position to help help take out the enemy. And if the Rune puts himself in a position where he can actually shoot these enemy instead of trying to capture the base with 2 minutes left, you can't win by points here. You just can't. So him going into the base this late in the game does nothing but lose us the game. Unfortunately, our Conqueror goes down. I mean, if you're just sitting there long enough for the guy to get your broadside, you're going to go down eventually, right? But, yeah, this is just one of those games where I'm not trying to hate on people. I'm just pointing out obvious things. Him hitting the border the way he did, not giving himself a chance to stay mobile and angle his ship, and then against the battleship, not having HE loaded, and settling for, you know, anywhere from 6,000 to 10,000 damage with no damage over time being added, I think is what cost him that particular fight. Now, do I think that he's killing the Kaba too? No. I think if the Repub goes down, I think the Kaba plays the end of this game much more subdued, a little bit more passively. But you'll see that the rune here has the firepower to absolutely remove this Kaba if he had put himself in a position to do so. While the Kaba was firing at our guy, if he was in a position to shoot the Kaba, he could have absolutely killed the Kaba, and that left him 1v1 with a battleship that's already hurting. And if he's in a position to shoot at, those guys to begin with, there's a good chance that he manages to burn down that repub. So this game could have been a win. The enemy threw this game. And this play right here is a perfect example. There's no reason for this Kaba to make this play. But he does, and the rune takes half of the remaining hit points off the Kaba with the one shot. And of course, rune ends up going behind the island here, again, trying to get into another cap, which is completely and utterly useless. All he's doing is he's farming some XP at this point. That's all he's doing, and it's a loss. But yeah, if he had put himself in a better position late game to be able to help with those remaining ships, I think that we end up winning this match. But is what it is. Can't win them all, and this was a very good game for us. 226,000 damage, 2,400 base XP on a loss, Kraken, High Cal, Confederate, Flesh Wound, all the things, top of the leaderboard. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What's your favorite tier 8 ship right now? I don't have the Petro. I know a lot of people have been talking about the Petro. I don't have that yet, so keep an eye out for that if I can ever get that thing unlocked. But things are so expensive for tier 8s that I just can't, spend that kind of money. I just can't. So let me know what you guys think, and if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.